G'day guys, David from the Xylem Zone here. Just thought I'd come today and talk to you about these three little letters I've written up here, LVR. And the reality is this could be the difference between you getting your first home or getting your first property if you actually don't understand what these letters mean. So what do they actually stand for? They stand for loan value ratio. And that means when you go to the bank, it determines obviously how much they'll lend you and how much deposit you have to put in. So in this little video, I'm just going to go through the different options you have. So when you go to the bank and you actually, or if you're looking for your first investment property, whichever it is, you know which options to take and obviously how much you need to have before you go to that next step. So let's look at 80%. 80% is the amount that most people consider. They think that the banks will lend them. And of course, if they're going to put in 80%, then they need to come up with 20%. So let's think we had a property here that was the value of $500,000. That means on a purchase of $500,000 for a home, you're going to need 20% of that value, which is going to be $100,000. Now that's just the deposit you need to have before you focus on any of the costs. And as a rule of thumb, your cost is 5%, so that's an extra $25,000 there to cover stamp duty, bank fees, legal fees. So now your total purchase is $125K. Now the issue with that is most people don't have $125K, and if you want to try and save that on a savings plan, by the time you've got pay your taxes, pay your hard costs, there's not much left over. So a lot of people, that puts them out of the game before they even start. So what other choices do you have? You can look at 90%. That's a higher LVR, so the bank's lending you 90% of the money. You only have to come up with 10%. So on this equation, we're down to you need $50,000 deposit plus 25 grand costs, which equals $75,000 that you need to come up with. Now let's think about it. For most people, how much money do they actually save? Most people are spending 20 to 40% beyond what they make and can't pull out $5,000 out of the bank. 80% of the population can't do that. So even 75 grand makes it very, very difficult to get your first home, hence affordability, hence why it's such a challenge for so many people. The clients we're working with are looking at different options in regard to if they're buying the first home, different incentives, having a money management plan, having clear goals and clear steps. And in many occasions, this same property worth $500,000, we can get them into that property with only about $30,000, between $30,000 and $40,000 out of their own pocket. So bottom line, they can get into that. Now, they might not have that money up front, but we'll work with them over a period of 1 to 2 years to help them get all the pieces in place to get really well educated, know what the steps are. So when they go to the banks, when they go to the brokers, they know the questions to ask. They're the captain of their own ship. And bottom line, they can take years off the time frame they need to get into their own home and obviously put in a hell of a lot less money and get that security they're looking for. Anyway, I hope that's been useful. It's David from the Xylem Zone. We'll talk to you again soon.